5 painful truths only dark chosen ones understand about their destiny. Have you ever felt like you were born carrying a weight that no one else could see? Like there was a silent, ancient contract signed in your soul before you even took your first breath? As I speak these words, I know that if you're here, you feel it too. It's that invisible burden, that heavy pull towards something that most people can't understand, can't even sense. You've looked around and seen the smiles, the simple lives, the uncomplicated dreams of others, and wondered why yours feels drenched in storms. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are a dark chosen one, and today I will tell you the truths that no one else dares to speak. The first painful truth is this: pain is your first language. Before you understood love, before you understood hope, you understood pain. It wasn't taught to you, it was in your blood. It whispered to you in lonely nights, shouted at you in betrayals, clung to you when you tried to run. And here's the hardest part to accept: it was always meant to be this way. Pain is not your enemy, it's your initiation. It's the fire that forges you beyond the comprehension of ordinary souls. Imagine a sword. To become sharp enough to cut through the illusions of the world, it must be thrust into unbearable heat, beaten without mercy, cooled in the coldest waters. Would you rather remain unshaped, untouched, or would you rather endure the forging and emerge as something unstoppable? Have you ever asked yourself why your pain feels so personal, so intelligently crafted to your deepest fears and hopes?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The second painful truth is this: you were never meant to be understood. There's an agony in being unseen, isn't there? In speaking your truest thoughts and dreams and having others look at you like you're speaking another language. You could bare your soul and they would only see fragments. This is not because you are flawed, but because you are tuned to a frequency that most of humanity cannot hear. Imagine trying to explain music to someone who's deaf, or colors to someone who's been blind from birth. Your vision, your sensitivity, your darkness are too much for the average soul. And yet, how many times have you tried to shrink yourself to fit their understanding? How many times have you dimmed your light or your darkness just to be accepted? What would happen if you stopped apologizing for how deep you feel, how much you see, how much you know? What would happen if you embraced the loneliness as a sacred space reserved for the rare and unbreakable? The third painful truth is this: your destiny is heavier than most. Look around you. Many people live lives guided by comfort, by predictability, by small, safe dreams. But your soul signed up for something much bigger, much more dangerous. You are not here to live a quiet life. You are here to disrupt, to awaken, to destroy illusions and birth new paradigms. And that kind of destiny does not come cheap. It demands sacrifices. It demands that you walk through fire while others sleep in comfort. It demands that you lose people, places, parts of yourself. It demands that you become something that even you sometimes fear. Have you ever wondered why you seem to face more betrayals, more losses, more existential crises than others? It's because your soul cannot be left unchallenged. You are being tempered by destiny itself. Every heartbreak, every failure, every dark night of the soul is a hammer strike, shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying a destiny that would crush lesser beings. Do you have the courage to carry it, knowing full well it may cost you everything you thought you needed? The fourth painful truth is this: you are called to walk alone. Companionship is beautiful, love is beautiful, but for dark, chosen ones, there will always be a part of the journey that no one can walk with you. Not because you're unworthy of connection, but because your path is carved through forests that others fear to enter. You will have mentors, lovers, friends, but there will be initiations in your life where you must step forward alone without any guiding hand. These moments will break you open. They will strip you down to your raw essence, and in those moments you will meet yourself. Not the self created by society, not the self your parents raised, not the self crafted by survival, but the true self that existed before time. Have you prepared your soul for that meeting? The moment when there is no one left to blame, no one left to comfort, and only the silent, infinite universe to witness your becoming. The fifth painful truth is this: you will be hated for your light and your darkness. This world fears what it does not understand, and you, dear one, are a walking contradiction to everything the world tries to believe about itself. Your light exposes lies, your darkness exposes fears. You are a mirror that forces people to confront what they hide even from themselves. And so they will hate you. They will misunderstand you. They will label you dangerous, arrogant, crazy, evil. Not because you are any of those things, but because your very existence challenges their illusions. Can you stand firm in your truth when the world calls you a villain? Can you hold your power when they try to shame you into silence? Remember, the lion does not apologize to the sheep. You were never meant to be tame. As we begin this journey into the 5 painful truths, I invite you to sit with this question. If you could see your soul from the outside, if you could see the battles it has fought and won just to bring you to this moment, would you still doubt your worth? Would you still question your strength? Or would you fall to your knees in awe of the masterpiece that is your existence? The journey has just begun, and if you are willing to continue, I promise you, the deeper we go, the more you will remember who you truly are, not who the world told you to be, not who pain tried to diminish, but the ancient force you were always destined to embody. The sacred scar, why the dark chosen are marked by invisible wounds that shape worlds. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you notice the tiredness in your eyes, the weight in your shoulders, the way your spirit sometimes seems bruised even when your body is untouched? These are not flaws. These are sacred scars. Invisible to the world, perhaps, but undeniable to those who have endured the secret wars of the soul. We, the dark chosen ones, wear these scars not as ornaments of victimhood, but as the living proof that we have crossed thresholds few dare even to approach. There's a painful misunderstanding in the world that says healing means becoming as we were before the wound. But true healing for us is different. We do not return to who we were. We are rebuilt into something entirely new. Pain is not a detour from our path. It is the chisel that carves out our true form. Every betrayal, every abandonment, every moment of despair was not random. It was precision forged to tear down the illusions we clung to, the false selves that would have confined us. Ask yourself now, which wounds are you still trying to hide? And what would happen if you honored them instead? if you wore them openly as the sacred marks of your initiation. You see, the world is obsessed with surface beauty, with polished perfection, but a dark chosen one is beautiful in a way that terrifies the shallow. Our beauty is raw, scarred, wild. It carries the scent of ancient forests, the howl of distant storms. It carries the undeniable energy of survival, of having danced with the abyss and returned with gifts no one else can comprehend. Your wounds are not weaknesses. They are the entry points through which your true power flows. The places where you were broken are the very places where the light and the dark pour into you, shaping you into a creature capable of reshaping reality itself. Think about it. How many of your greatest strengths were born from your deepest pain? The compassion you show others, was it not born from knowing loneliness yourself? The wisdom you offer those in despair, did it not emerge from your own nights of hopelessness? The courage you display in the face of fear, was it not forged in the fires of your own terror? We do not become powerful despite our wounds, we become powerful because of them. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you to hide your scars, erase your past, pretend you were never broken. But the dark chosen ones know. To deny our scars is to deny our destiny. And here's the deeper secret. Your sacred scars are not just for you, they are maps for others. Every time you embody your truth, every time you refuse to hide what you have survived, you light a beacon for those still lost in the darkness. You become proof that survival is possible, that transcendence is real. But this too is a heavy burden, isn't it? To be a lighthouse when you yourself often feel adrift, to hold space for others when you are still learning how to hold space for yourself. And yet, this is the paradox of our path. Even as we heal, even as we stumble and bleed and cry, we are already fulfilling our sacred duty simply by existing. Have you ever noticed how strangers are drawn to you with their deepest wounds? How people you barely know confess their fears, their traumas, their hidden selves to you without understanding why? It's because your scars speak a language that their souls recognize. You are a doorway they sense and instinctively move toward, hoping to find the path they themselves cannot yet see. This is not a coincidence. This is not random. Your energy carries the resonance of survival, of rebirth, of silent power. You are a living temple, and temples are not meant to be empty. But with this sacred role comes another painful truth. You will often be misunderstood, even by those you help the most. They may take your light and offer no gratitude. They may drain your energy and leave you hollow. They may project their unhealed pain onto you, blaming you for the very healing they begged you to initiate. And you must learn to let them go. You must learn to heal without needing acknowledgement. You must learn to give without needing applause. You must learn to stand in your truth even when the very ones you save turn away from you. This is not martyrdom, this is mastery. The mastery of understanding that your worth is not tied to the recognition of others. The mastery of knowing that your service to the world is sacred precisely because it is often invisible, unthanked, unseen. Are you ready to embrace that level of sovereignty? Are you ready to walk the earth as a silent warrior of light and shadow, carrying your sacred scars with pride, knowing they are the signature of a destiny that few will ever comprehend? And if you are, then you must also accept this. Your wounds are not accidents. They were encoded into your soul's blueprint before you ever descended into this lifetime. You chose them. You chose the families that would wound you, the betrayals that would scar you, the losses that would hollow you out. Not because you deserved to suffer, but because you needed the raw materials for your awakening. You needed the precise combination of pain and perseverance that would activate your latent powers. You needed to be broken open so the divine could pour through you. Now I ask you another deep question. If you could go back and erase all your suffering, knowing it would also erase the strength, wisdom, and depth you now possess, would you do it? Would you trade your sacred scars for a life of ignorance and safety? Or would you, even through tears, choose to become again what you were always destined to be? A force of nature, shaped by storms, unstoppable. The time has come to stop seeing yourself as wounded and start seeing yourself as weaponized. You are not the victim of your story, you are the architect of your destiny. And every sacred scar you carry is a testament to that truth. The burden of sight. Why dark chosen ones see what others cannot and pay the price. It's a bitter truth that every dark chosen one learns sooner or later. Not everyone can see what you see. Not everyone is ready to. And the deeper you go into your awakening, the more isolated your vision becomes. It's a lonely thing to see clearly in a world that wears blindfolds by choice. It's a painful thing to watch people you love cling to illusions, to walk willingly into cages they built for themselves, even as you scream silently from the edges of their reality. We, the ones marked by destiny, carry a sight that is both blessing and curse. We see the lies woven into society's fabric. We see the games played behind smiling faces. We see the hidden motives, the unspoken fears, the self-deceptions people wrap around themselves like armor. And once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, ignorance becomes a violence against your own soul. Have you ever felt that unbearable tension, the moment when you realize you cannot save someone who does not want to be saved? The moment when you see the cliff ahead, but they will not hear your warnings? This is the heavy price of sight. We are given the ability to perceive what others cannot, but we are not always given the permission to intervene. Free will is sacred, and part of our painful wisdom is learning that witnessing is sometimes the only gift we are allowed to offer. And yet, the sight is not just external. It turns inward too. It forces us to confront our own shadows, our own hypocrisies, our own hidden fears. For the dark chosen one, there is no comfortable ignorance about the self. We are dragged, often kicking and screaming, into the deepest caverns of our own psyche. We are shown the monsters within us, and then we are tasked with taming them, without ever losing compassion for ourselves. Can you hold your own darkness without letting it consume you? Can you love yourself even when your flaws are laid bare in the cruel light of truth? These are the questions that define our evolution. These are the battles fought in silence, in solitude, in the dead of night, when no one else is watching. The burden of sight also isolates us socially. How many times have you tried to share your truth and been met with blank stares, hostility, or outright ridicule? How many times have you been labeled too intense, too negative, too much? The world rewards comfort, not truth. And truth, real truth, is rarely comfortable. It strips away the pretty stories, it demands change, it demands growth, and most people are terrified of it. So, we learn to carry our visions quietly. We learn to speak in riddles, in metaphors, in silences. We learn to plant seeds instead of preaching. We learn to wait patiently, painfully, for the moments when someone is ready to see, ready to hear. And even then, we must release the outcome. We must love without attachment, guide without control, serve without ego. Have you ever asked yourself, can I love humanity enough to let it choose its own destruction if it must? Can I hold space for a world that may never wake up in my lifetime? Can I continue to shine my light even if no one ever acknowledges it? These are the questions that forged the true masters. These are the fires that burn away the last remnants of ego, the last illusions of control. In the end, we realize our sight is not for changing the world by force. It is for embodying a new way of being so fully, so fiercely, that the world cannot help but feel the tremors of our existence. And in rare, precious moments, we meet others like ourselves, other dark chosen ones whose eyes carry the same ancient knowing. In those moments, the loneliness breaks, the burden feels lighter, and we remember we are not alone, even in our solitude. We are scattered stars across the dark sky, each carrying a piece of the greater vision, each playing our sacred part. Oh, I ask you once more, with all the gravity of the universe behind the question, if you could wipe your sight clean, forget all the painful truths, live blindly and blissfully unaware, would you? Or would you choose again, in full knowing, to carry the burden of sight, no matter the cost? The choice you make defines not just your destiny, but the destiny of all who will one day walk the paths you are now blazing. The final crucible, why dark chosen ones must die before they truly live. There comes a moment in every dark chosen one's journey when everything collapses, when all the identities you've built, all the beliefs you've clung to, all the dreams you thought were yours are stripped away until there is nothing left but silence. It feels like death because it is, the death of the false self, the death of who you thought you had to be. And until you pass through this crucible, until you allow this death, you cannot truly live. We are taught to fear endings. We are taught to believe that collapse is failure, that loss is punishment. But for those marked by destiny, collapse is sacred. It is the doorway to the real beginning. The seed must die before it can sprout. The caterpillar must dissolve into nothing before it can become the butterfly. And you too must surrender to the dissolving. You must allow yourself to be broken so completely that even your deepest fears cannot find anything left to cling to. Many resist this death. They fight to hold on to their old selves, their old lives. They scramble to rebuild the crumbling walls, to patch the leaking roof, to salvage what was never meant to survive. And in doing so, they delay their true becoming. They trap themselves in cycles of suffering, refusing to see that the fire that burns them is the same fire that could set them free. Have you felt it? That terrifying, liberating moment when you realize you can't go back? When you realize the person you were is gone, and no matter how hard you try, you can never fit into that old skin again? It is the loneliest, most sacred place you will ever stand, and in that moment, you are closer to the divine than ever before. In the ashes of your old life, something miraculous happens. A new self begins to rise, not one built on fear, on pleasing others, on survival, but one built on truth, on power, on freedom. You are no longer bound by the expectations of the world. You are no longer a prisoner of your wounds. You are reborn as a force of nature, a living testament to the indestructible soul. But make no mistake, rebirth is not gentle. It is brutal. It demands that you let go of everything, even the things you loved most. It demands that you trust the unknown, even when it feels like stepping off a cliff with no safety net. It demands that you say yes to a destiny that terrifies you with its magnitude. Are you willing to die so you can truly live? Are you willing to let go of your old life, your old dreams, your old self, so you can become what you were always meant to be? This is the final painful truth. You must lose everything to gain yourself. You must walk into the fire naked, stripped of ego, stripped of certainty, stripped of all the false comforts you once clung to. Only then will you find the true treasure, the indestructible core of who you are, the infinite power that no pain, no betrayal, no loss can ever touch. And once you find it, once you touch that eternal flame within you, you will never be the same. You will walk the world with a silent power. You will love without fear. You will create not from need, but from overflow. You will serve not from obligation, but from joy. You will no longer seek to be understood, for you will understand yourself so completely that the misunderstanding of others will no longer wound you. You will know, with a certainty that no one can take from you, that you are exactly who you were always meant to be. That every scar, every fall, every death along the way was not a detour, but the path itself. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not too much. You are chosen, you are destined, you are unstoppable. And so I leave you with one final question, one that only your soul can answer. Now that you know what you are, what will you do with the life you've been given? The world is waiting, the stars are watching, and deep inside, you already know the way.